Government ministers embrace budget provisions expected to have a direct impact on their constituents. Housing for pitted Savan and other displaced residents captured in the 2016-2017 national budget, and an appeal for a sense of patriotism as Dominica slowly recovers from the effects of Tropical Storm Erica. I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. The details coming up. Let's begin with the Minister for Agriculture, who has welcomed provisions in the national budget allowing farmers access to a $10 million facility at Aid Bank and at 3% interest with a 6-month grace period. While agriculture production accounted for 11.5% of total GDP in 2015, that sector also recorded an overall decline of 15%. Banana production dropped by 20%, but the sector was expected to expand this year, 2016. 2017 projections suggest a rebound of 6.1% in agriculture as bananas and non-banana crops accelerate.
As you know, we've been encouraging increased production. Government over the years have been assisting farmers with imports, more 3 or something at a subsidized price, but government cannot continue to do that. The time has come when we are creating the facility where the farmer can access a soft loan to assist him in boosting production. Additionally, you heard government mention the formation of a special unit within the Ministry of Trade and Dexia for the work that has to be done to secure the markets out there. So the Ministry of Trade and Dexia, we had a trade mission recently looking at the market out there, but with the trade being mandated with a special unit for the markets out there, it's going to be very important to the farmers who are looking forward to exporting their produce.
Meantime, Drago says plans announced by the Prime Minister to increase contributions to seniors over 70 by 50% will benefit a number of his constituents.
This 50% increase in the contribution given to the 70 and over, it's going to really do wonders in my constituency. So my elderlies in Pitisufwe and Kurup and Sansove and Casabros, I'm sure they're very happy to hear in the budget that they are getting a 50% increase. And not only that, quite a few of them farmers made contribution to Social Security and they are getting a very meager $50 a month. Government is saying today that all of this pensioners' contribution will be increased to ensure that they're within the threshold of at least minimum $300 a month. So this is very significant for the Dominica on a whole and the Casabos constituency specifically.
And work has already started on the first 50 Petro Casas for the Bellevue Chopin settlement for pitted Savan residents displaced by Tropical Storm Erica last year. The Minister for Finance said in the budget address that this settlement would be funded under the Citizenship by Investment program. Government has already acquired over 40 acres of land for that settlement. But in spite of all that has taken place, there is still some apprehension by some pitted Savan residents. Their parliamentary representative spoke to those concerns following the budget presentation on Tuesday.
And I'm pretty sure that you were aware that work would have already started on the first 50 Petro Casas for the settlement, but the larger, of course, more modern settlement, which is going to be developed by the Montreal company. Okay, we're hoping that work will start, actual work will start pretty soon. In fact, they've already started clearing of the side, the cutting, logging of trees, etc. So as a member of parliament, as I said, I think I'm in a much better place right now than a few months ago. And again, I would like to take this opportunity, of course, to reach out to my constituents, especially those of pitted Savan, who I know from time to time, have some anxiety episodes, and to say that I understand everything that they're going through, all the emotions. But I really take it personal sometimes, when I hear some of the negative comments coming from them, because I think that the government has reached out. You heard the Prime Minister quote the numbers in terms of assistance to the pitted Savan people since Tropical Storm Erica. We're talking about some in the region of $6 million that is pertains to rent and displacement allowances. So you get the impression sometimes in talking to them and the comments they make that they've been abandoned, that that they've been left out to fend for themselves in the wilderness. And I really would like to state for the public record that I really like to say that this is really not true.
Daru says it's unfortunate that some people are politicizing the situation of the pitted Savan people.
But as I said, I'm not going to be daunted. The task ahead, we knew from day one, in fact, I knew from day one as a member of parliament that the task ahead was going to be mammoth. And I think together with the support of my cabinet colleagues, the Minister of Finance and Minister, who has been exemplary as a leader, and in terms of support, that we're going to get there. As I said, the UBIC is all but done, and looking forward to Wed27, and I'm sure maybe in the next year or two, in a year and a half, which I think would be the duration of the project, that all of this will be behind us, and the Wed27 will be happily settled as the big people are now.
Meantime, housing remains one of the key components of the budget presented in Parliament on Tuesday. The Prime Minister and Minister for Finance says government's response to the housing needs created by Tropical Storm Erica had to be swift. Dubique and Wed27 were among communities declared special disaster zones and required the development of new villages.
Of the 300 petrocasas generously donated to us by the government of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, 50 houses have been completed in the center area in Granville. These houses have been allocated to 152 residents of Dubique, and the new home owners have already received the keys and are now comfortably sleeping in those new homes.
The Prime Minister took the opportunity again to express gratitude to the government of Venezuela for funding this housing project. He also made reference to the housing settlement being developed for the Wed27 residents.
A new community will be established there with all required amenities, including a complete road network with underground utilities, a farmer's market, commercial units, and street lighting. Government has signed an agreement with the developer to undertake this very critical venture management. Foundation works for 50 petrocasas have begun at the Belleville Chopin site, which will benefit the residents from Wed27. Platinum Pier in the Collio constituency is being developed to provide homes for the displaced families of Collio, Colibistri, Jubla, and Biosh. Work on the construction of additional 6 petrocasas has begun. Government is also partnering with the Seventh-day Adventist Church through the Adventist Development and Relief Agency, ADRA, in the construction of houses on that site. We again thank ADRA, Madam Speaker, for its support.
And His Excellency President Charles Savary has called on patriotic Dominicans to recognize it's less than a year since Tropical Storm Erica and to put all differences aside in order to present a united front to the world as we rebuild. His Excellency made the point that the bulk of the work yet to be done in rebuilding Dominica will take decades.
It is such a united front that will build greater confidence, signal that we are driven by a common national goal, and therefore facilitate a more rapid drawdown of the monies pledged and committed by donors. If we fail to do so, we will not only sap the energy and goodwill of our own people here and abroad, but we will be sending a signal to the international community that even in the face of great national disaster, we do not have the courage and the fortitude to temporarily set aside our differences in the national interest.
The President said Dominicans could draw inspiration from the people of New Orleans in the United States who are still in the rebuilding process 11 years after Hurricane Katrina. He pointed to the Citizenship by Investment program as one approach to re-energizing the economy.
Let us therefore try to understand what the program is, how it operates, the benefits to the economy, and to the opportunity of eradicating poverty that it presents. And if there is need for refinement, let us, as a people and as a parliament, agree on such improvements that could be made to improve the program as time progresses.
In other news now, the emancipation celebrations continue this week with yet another educational segment scheduled for Thursday. Andrea Louis has more.
The UWI Open Campus will host the second Emancipation Film and Rap session. This is the third year that UWI is engaged as a participant in the Emancipation celebrations. The film up for discussion is titled, Forward Ever, The Killing of a Revolution.
We have all heard about the Grenada Revolution, but how much do we really know about what happened? The film is a gripping and revealing documentary that tells a story of the revolution from those who lived through it at that time. While Grenadians still grapple with the hurt of the revolution, those of us who are on the outside looking in have been looking at Grenada's mistakes and finding ways that we ourselves can deal with our own social and political issues.
Meantime, the Division of Culture is taking steps to decentralize emancipation celebrations from Roseau to other parts of the island.
We decided to choose on Grand Bay because we want to remind Dominicans that the first shipment of enslaved Africans to arrive in Dominica were brought to Geneva Estate in Grand Bay. Hence, the preservation of culture, of course, adding to that preservation, the conditions that created that preservation is, of course, the isolation that that plantation had during slavery. But we don't want to forget those efforts to preserve our culture and the fact that the first Africans on Dominican soil were brought to Grand Bay.
The Emancipation Walk, scheduled for Friday, 29th July, will begin at 5 p.m. at Tete Lale and proceed to Hewlett Center, where it will end with a concert. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
You are watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, the opposition leader makes his budget rebuttal. Thanks for staying with us. Growing the economy continues to be one of the concerns of the leader of the parliamentary opposition, who addressed Parliament on Wednesday. In his rebuttal, the opposition leader paid significant attention to the CIP and its increasing significance in the national budget. He's of the view that the program has been around long enough to begin to work in Dominica's favor.
The IMF wants to see reform measures, as I said earlier, to strengthen and support the budget process and its execution, including systems to improve public financial management and improving the transparency of the economic citizenship program. And I pause to welcome the disclosure of information about the economic citizenship program that surfaced in yesterday's budget statement. We have asked for it for a long time. We have not received it. We are seeing some numbers finally.
In his presentation, Linton said the services sector could also be performing better.
In 2006, our cruise tourism business was twice the size of St. Kitts, at about 400,000 passengers a year. 10 years later, we are less than 400,000 cruise passengers, and St. Kitts has found its way to 1 million cruise ship passengers. But we sit down and we say everything is okay. When we pointed years ago to the usefulness of the study done by the Florida Caribbean Cruise Organization on the performance of the cruise sector in the region and their contributions to the economies in the Caribbean, when I pointed out the usefulness of that study for the purpose of benchmarking the competition and deciding in country what we could do to get better in the context of the performance of the other tourism destinations, the then tourism minister had the unmitigated gall to say, I didn't understand the report that I'm reading.
And the Ministry of Agriculture is taking steps to have another local crop feature prominently in Dominica's exports. Andrea Louis reports.
This is the aim of a national breadfruit workshop held on Wednesday, which will focus on how to better market various aspects of the breadfruit crop.
Parts of it can be used as an insect repellent. And of course, it provides a latex that can be used. It provides for fabric. and of course it provides again for animal feed. So if we have not looked at breadfruit as an important crop, so much so that putting it into our production mix, we might as well start thinking of it certainly at the policy level as well. The Ministry of Agriculture will work, of course, to ensure that where our support is merited and needed, we will provide that in no uncertain terms.
The workshop is the result of the collaborative efforts of the Caribbean Agriculture Network, the Caribbean Agricultural Breadfruit, and the University of the West Indies.
We're going to be looking at how to get into commercial operations from production. We're going to be looking a little bit at what has been happening in research in the area of post-harvest. We are also going to be looking at some entrepreneurial opportunities that you can think about. I'm just throwing them out. What I would like very much is that you don't close your mind.
Breadfruit has proven to be a significant income earner in other Caribbean countries such as Jamaica and St. Vincent, and there are hopes that such will be the case with Dominica.
People all over the world are beginning to recognize the value and importance of breadfruit, and they continue to do research on it. And funny as it may sound, some of that research is being focused on getting information on what we do in the Caribbean, what we do even in Dominica. And so there's a lot of knowledge on breadfruit that the older folks have, but it has not been documented. And let us look at the breadfruit crop as another opportunity to generate economic activity and to also ensure that the health benefits from breadfruit, we understand them.
And after 2 years of work, the Gutter community welcomes the newly renovated McDowell James Community Center. Chairman of the Gutter Development Committee, Alvin Auguste, says he is elated to see the completion of the project, jointly sponsored by the New Zealand government and the OECS Commission, for $56,000.
I must say that we are very, very thankful and elated for this initiative by the New Zealand Government of Foreign Affairs and the OECS Commission. We are very, very satisfied right now. Actually, it's a brand new facility with new equipments. This community is going to serve their purpose, a purpose where they could come and recreate. They could actually use their anger in playing sports, activities, socialization, even in arts and culture.
Meantime, the New Zealand ambassador to Dominica says this project is another testimony of strong ties between the two countries. The renovation of this center was originally part of relief efforts to communities affected by the December 2013 floods.
In geothermal, New Zealand is providing technical assistance as your government develops this very important renewable energy. In agriculture, we have been pleased to be requested to support the development of your sheep and goat sector. In education, we have scholarships available for postgraduate training in the priority sectors of renewable energy, agriculture, and disaster risk management. I am delighted that 3 students from Dominica have recently been awarded scholarships to study in New Zealand. And that's a really key piece of the relationship.
The new facility includes a fully furnished kitchen, a new library for children, and will also serve as a functional hurricane shelter. That's news. Your sports highlights next with Kenny Williams.
In sports highlights, we can tell you that St. Lucia Zouks went down to Trinbago Knight Riders by 3 wickets in the Caribbean Premier League on Tuesday. Zouks took first to knock and made 167 for 6. Darren Sammy scored 37 not out and Shane Watson 32 for St. Lucia. Needing 168 for victory, Riders equaled the target with 7 wickets fallen. Umar Akmal made 73. Delron Johnson picked up 3 for 22. Meantime, Jamaica Talawa's captain, Chris Gale, says having more cricket matches being played in the United States could help penetrate that market. His comments come ahead of Barbados Tridents and Guyana Amazon Warriors match in Florida on Thursday.
First of all, I think it would be a great atmosphere based on what we have actually saw the last couple of years when West Indies actually played New Zealand here. The turnout has actually been tremendous. I think the CPL will actually bring out the crowd again once more, and the atmosphere that they've seen on TV, I'm sure they want to experience it for themselves as well. So, hopefully get a good start on Thursday and then progress over the weekend as well. So it should be a good one, and I'm looking forward to it as well. Hopefully this will be a new beginning for CPL, and hopefully actually progress over the next few years as well. The US is cricket orientated. When you look at the mixed culture over here in the US, so I think you have a huge cricket base, cricket fans over here as well.
He says the aim has been to bring West Indies cricket to the US.
I think the cricket, from a West Indies point of view as well, been trying to break into the US market for years now. We haven't been successful, so just always a bit here and there. So hopefully the CPL will actually be consistent with having games here in the US, and if it's just a one-off thing, then it will be a problem for the game of cricket in the United States as well. So, if it can actually progress, I know this leg will actually be a good one for CPL. And if it can continue next year and keep letting the people here in the US can get a chance to see it live, then it should be a fantastic thing for the game of cricket here in the US as well.
Next up, Dominica went down to Grenada in the men's volleyball competition after close finishes in the first and third sets as action continued in the 2016 CBN Winlot-Windward Island School Games. Grenada dominated the game in straight sets. Final scores 28-26, 25-18 and 25-13. Back with more cricket, well, coming from a 51-run lead and 117 runs on Tuesday, Australia ended day 2 of their test against Sri Lanka on 203 all-out. Scoring for Australia, Adam Voges made 47, while Mitchell Marsh and Steve Smith assisted with 31 and 30 respectively. R. Herath and L. Sanduncan went through the Aussie batting lineup, taking 4 wickets each. Sri Lanka, in their second innings, scored 6 for 1.
And he's gone.
In court sports now, head of 767 Sports Club, Dunstan Maggie Peters, says the 2016 DABA League was a good one for his team. Peters is in charge of the 767 Lady Ballers.
The Lady Ballers, we have been we were victorious in our first game there, and we have some more games coming up, before the season is over. So we want the fans to look forward to them. They're doing good and look forward to giving them a show.
In football news, the Grand Four Rockets and DCP teams dominated action in the Ivor Stevenson League. Rockets had young boys under their heel for a 7-2 pounding. Neri Pascal netted 3 times, while Don Laza, Curlson Prince, Monroe and Malian Phillips scored 1 each for Rockets. Kervin Lawrence got 2 for young boys. In another match, Dominica Coconut Products beat Minia 7-11 MJ United 4-2. Delbert Graham found the back of the nets 3 times and Calvin Christopher once for DCP. Aldi Volney was the lone goal scorer for MJ United. The league continues on the weekend. And 767 Young Ballers will take on St. Mary's Corp Delton United on Thursday at 6 p.m. in action from the Fast Cash Harlem Football League. That's all the sports highlights for now. I am Kenny Williams. Be sure to join us tomorrow.
Your weather forecast is coming up next.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I am your presenter, Annie Carreta-Joseph. The Atlantic high pressure system was the dominant feature across the island today, and this resulted in fair to partly cloudy skies. Some hazy conditions were also observed. Visible satellite imagery showed few low-level clouds over Dominica throughout the course of the day. Radar imagery indicated minimal shower activity over the Lesser Antilles. Conditions for tonight, similar conditions as today, fair to partly cloudy, some hazy conditions as well. Tomorrow, partly cloudy skies with a few brief scattered showers. Sea conditions moderate in open water with waves up to 7 feet. Taking a look at the extended forecast, tomorrow Thursday, a weak trough system will move across the area, resulting in partly cloudy skies with some brief scattered showers. This trough system will linger into Friday, resulting in partly cloudy to cloudy skies with brief scattered showers. On Saturday, the axis of a tropical wave will move across the area, resulting in increasingly cloudy skies with scattered showers. Most of the cloudiness and shower activity associated with this tropical wave will move across the area by late Saturday into Sunday. And across the region tomorrow, partly cloudy skies with some brief scattered showers. On the international scene, partly cloudy skies with some showers in New York, mostly cloudy skies in Miami, some rain in London, some possible thunderstorm in Caracas, and partly cloudy skies in Beijing. The sun will rise tomorrow at 5:46 a.m. and set at 6:37 p.m. For up-to-date information, log on to our website at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Thank you for viewing and join us next time. Good night.
To end the news, the headlines again. Government ministers embrace budget provisions expected to have a direct impact on their constituents. Housing for pitted Savannah and other displaced residents covered in the 2016-2017 national budget. And an appeal for a sense of patriotism as Dominica slowly recovers from the effects of Tropical Storm Erika. Feel free to contact us at news@mapping2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris, and to all our viewers around the world, thank you for watching.